Alrighty then, so she solos the entire verse pre-chapter 300. Good to know. Thank you to our $5 patrons, Strawbones, Red Wolf 4765, Midnight Gemlord, and Artagoon 555. Now, before we hop into this breakdown / discussion and review of chapter 340 of Black Clover, please do me a favor, leave your comments on the chapter in the comment section down below, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also be sure to hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also I do a Patreon down below. You can support for as little as $1 a month. You get these exclusive videos, early content, and more. Now let's hop into last week's poll. So last week I ended up asking y'all, a simple question of names, if you will. I want to know which name y'all preferred, Zetten or Heavenly Severance. Considering they both kind of mean the same thing, it really is just a matter of preference. And to my shock, I get y'all reasoning, but 65% of y'all went with Zetten. And admittedly, it rolls off the tongue smooth. Zetten. It's a lot different than Heavenly Severance. But I don't know. I don't agree with the 35%. I think Heavenly Severance is more fire. I get it. Zetten's a lot more mystical, magical, but Heavenly Severance is just a bar. It's just a bar. I'm sorry, it's just a bar. But regardless, I can definitely respect the 65%. Zetten's going to roll off the tongue a lot smoother. It's probably going to combo better into other attack names. Meanwhile, if you had to finish off every single attack with Heavenly Severance foot, Heavenly Severance hand, Heavenly Severance big toe, obviously it would get a bit too complicated. So I can definitely understand the support for Zetten. However, thank you so much for participating in that poll. Make sure you participate in tomorrow's poll, dropping at 12 p.m. to make sure your input is included for next week's review. Now, let's hop into chapter 340. What's up, guys? I'm with Pencil, and here we are to do a breakdown and review of chapter 340 of Black Clover, which is known as an opening. And Ichika opened the fact that the verse is just broken. Seriously, wherever you guys anywhere in earlier in the series, you could literally slow the Dark Triad. I can't imagine what you would do to the whole entire fairy arc. Ology Wilker's early series, what did you do? But enough of that, let's hop right to the chapter itself. So we open up, and we get to see that Asta, his training is going pretty darn well, using Zetten. He's been destroying these bamboo sticks, left, right, and center. Absolutely annihilating them with his anti-magic. And Lieb is still posted up on his shoulder. I don't know, I know I keep bringing it up every single time I see him, but man, it's so hard to take Lieb seriously now, bro. Bro literally is just an accessory. At least if he could stay in his larger form when he's not about to be used for DU or something like that, that'd be one thing. But I don't know, just seeing little mini Lieb always posted up on Asta's shoulders, so I don't want to say demeaning, but a little demeaning. However, we do get to see that both Ryu and Fumito are yo, wow, this guy's kind of crazy. He already got the basics down that quickly. And we realize that apparently that really is just the basics. There was no deeper inspection of Zetten just yet. And mainly their whole first stage of this training was just to get Asta to understand the basic principles of the technique and how to apply it. And reasonably, the next stage is shoving it out whenever you want to, where you want to. And essentially, it's all about knowing where and how to create an opening to properly use Zetten. Not that Zetten seemingly has too much wind up, Ichika managed to use it pretty quickly, and even Asta managed to use it pretty quickly. But still, it takes more wind up than your average slice or punch or kick or anything like that. So you typically want your opponent to be somewhat off guard so you can have that little time, charge up Zetten, and then immediately one-shot them. Seemingly that's the goal of Zetten, if you were to ask me. And obviously, there's something about a battle sense that you can't get just from talking about it. You obviously got to have a real fight. So we see that Asta is then forced up against Ichika, specifically an expert in Zetten. And Ryu says, I bet. Run around, go off with it, have a good time, and figure out how to use Zetten. And we see that Asta's a real fight with Captain Yami's sister. Wait a minute. If I'm just thinking back what she's already shown, she probably wasn't even remotely flexing. That's probably just casual stuff for her. I'm about to take this seriously. And admittedly, I do like how it isn't the fact that she's Yami's sister that's causing Asta to be like, I gotta immediately go into the black form. It's just the fact that what Ichika did on her own is enough to scare Asta, like, we won't use DU, but we are gonna merge right now. She's obviously about the business. And he does, I do like how he's like, thank you for this opportunity, as he flexes into that form of all things. And Fumito instantly looks on and is like, wait a minute, what? He coated himself with that anti-magic? That alone might be enough to block your jutsu entirely. Once again, this is a pretty interesting form. So Asta essentially gets passive magic resistance for the most part with that, which is implied. You know, back when he was in the fight with Lucci and he was using just DU, not even true DU, he was already kind of negating all the magic around him. So, you know, be careful if you want to run fades with Asta. However, we do get to see that despite Fumito being intimidated by this, like, oh, no way, he could negate all your jutsu. Ichika's like, is that it? I mean, like, is that truly, like, all you got? Like, don't tell me this is you actually going serious. And Asta's like, I mean, like, darn, I know you're strong, but, like, you realize I am top 1 in the verse when I'm in, like, DU, right? Like, maybe not top 1 anymore, because Lucci stomped on me, and then the person who ate Lucci stomped on me. But still, I'm at least, like, a solid top 3, maybe top 5. You sure you want this smoke? And Ichika's like, yes, because you see, I am very similar to my brother. And the fact that we are indeed both smoke darkness demons. And we will smoke your pack. Him with a cigarette. And me with my blade. So you don't take this trading seriously. You will suffer. And I do like how Ichika is purely willing to be like, yo, I don't really care. it's such a weird thing. Like, obviously, I mean, maybe she is. She gives us such an ominous presence that I wouldn't be shocked if she actually would have just slaughtered Asta. Because she says, I'm telling you, you'll die. Like, she says 100% of the fact this is a real battle. You play any games, and you won't have like, any more games to play. And she immediately lunges in, right? And the thing that's crazy here, I guess because Asta doesn't have a weapon, but she doesn't even draw her blade. And seemingly has no build up into Zetten either. She has the lightning sparks again. But then she immediately manages to tag Asta. Asta just barely manages to block with his arm. But even then, he still takes damage. Ryu just finds this hilarious and brings up a crazy fact. Like, Asta manages to block it, but his anti-magic took away most of the power of, or maybe not most of the power. He just says that anti-magic took the edge off Ichika's Yoryoku, which means that this hit that sent Black Form Asta flying with her bare hands would have done even more damage if he wasn't cloaked up. That probably would have just one-shot him. Just a hand tap, a push, which is crazy to think about. Like, once again, Asta, even in the Black Form, is a monster in verse. Like, legitimately extremely powerful, arguably top 20. And of course, isn't DU, but still, he's that guy in terms of just raw stats. But, and this is after he's been healed and has been fed. He's doing good overall. But no, Ichika is just that gal. And we get to see that Asta even recognizes that, wow, she's tough. And notably, Ichika plays no games and immediately lunges in right after him. However, Asta, deciding to level up the game a bit, he draws his sword and immediately begins fighting with Ichika properly. However, I'm assuming due to a mix of key reading and Asta's own, like, relatively lower stats, she just avoids him, like, entirely. He's wielding Demon Slasher, the Demon Slasher katana from what it looks like, and she's just casually weaving and bobbing all of his attacks, which, once again, Ichika's kind of crazy already. Throw her against a lot of the verse, and she's pretty much body bagging them with her bare hands. She still has not drawn her blade yet. And Asta's even forced to admit, like, she's evading him like nothing, as if he's not even a challenge. And that's crazy. Like, the level of power that has existed, or I'm not sure how long it's existed, but has existed in the Land of the Sun, like, un poco loco, legitimately. Because this is the same level of power that, yeah, this is, because this is pre-DU. So this is the same level of power that Asta was using alongside I was about to say Dante with Yami. This is the Black Form. And it's crazy to see that Ichika may just actually be stronger than her brother. Like, flat out. Obviously, Yami got a new amp with the Demon Heart and stuff like that, so we don't know exactly how strong Yami is now. But still, to think that Ichika, at seemingly all this time, it doesn't seem like a recent amp, it seems like she's been at this level of power for a while, is this girthy, is this powerful. It's kind of crazy. And we see that Ryu's like, okay, I see you're a little bit shocked. Anti-magic erases magic, so I doubt people dodge it much. And it's interesting to see that Ryu's just like, oh yeah. So you're used to speed blitzing everybody, huh? Yeah, that's not happening. Which is cool to see. And we see that apparently the reason Zetten is because the creator of it gave enough Yojutsu to split the sky in one attack. So the creator of Zetten was Lubu with Sky Piercer. I'm kidding. But regardless, interesting. And we get to see that Ichika once again sparks. She found an opening, and then once again, just because Zetten is usually used through the hands does not mean it can be used through everywhere else. She ends up using Zetten through her foot and kicking Asta to the heavens, straight up outside of the bamboo thicket. And once again, Asta just barely manages to block, but he's still on the defensive. Still crazy. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm putting a lot of emphasis on this, but yeah, this is black form Asta. This guy's a beast. After a whole year of training, and Ichika's just duking on him. And we get to see, it really even acknowledges the fact that, anti-magic's tough. And she even has a hard time hitting Asta while he's fully concentrated. But due to Asta, shockingly enough, letting his guard down occasionally, in a very similar vein to, like, Goku, he has attention lapses that allow Ichika to get her hits in. Like, that's the main times where she's able to activate Zetten and strike. And with that being the case, every single time Asta gets thrown off, it's just compounding more and more the lack in consciousness that Asta consistently needs in order to stay relevant. And obviously, considering someone like Ichika is able to casually poke and abuse these holes within Asta, someone like Lucius will definitely be doing the same thing, except he won't be tapping him or kicking him. He will literally be ripping his heart out. Like, that's the difference in caliber that he's going to have to face. And obviously, while Ichika's proving herself rather valid here, she's still not one-shotting him due to anti-magic. So it is likely that she still falls under DU. With that being the case, though, Lucius obviously has his ways around anti-magic, most likely. And if he didn't before, he's definitely developing them. And thusly, he's going to be hitting Asta with all of his physical power on top of the 100% of Lucci's physical power. So he's going to be hitting hard. We do get to see that apparently the kind of style that Asta's going to have is different than every other opponent he's fought against before. Instead of just charging in head on, he's going to have to keep on evading and find that little opening and line up one serious major attack and strike. And I love how Asta is sort of feeling this as if he were Lucius. He's sort of just forcing himself to, well, actually not really, because Ichigo's kind of on the offensive as Lucius is. Meanwhile, Asta is the one dodging. And the moment Ichigo goes to draw her blade, Asta actually senses something different. Like, he literally has his pupil and iris shrink down immensely as he proceeds to block the attack. And we see that the swing of Ichigo's blade tore apart the entire forest. Asta managed to block, but it blew his guard open. And then in the next instant, Ichika drop kicks him and sends bro flying into the water. And we see that Ichika, even to Ryu's perspective, was like, wow, you gotta went a little bit crazy there. I ain't even gonna lie to you. And we see Ichigo walks up and is like, you still up? You still living? And the thing is, whoa, nah. Okay, wait a minute. That's not DU though. Hold on. I'm reading the official translation now. I thought the official translation said something different. That's not DU, is it? Is that DU? Is that really DU? Okay, never mind. Ichigo really is just top one. She really is just top one. Wow. Wow. We were using DU and it didn't even matter. That's strength. So, fun fact if you forgot. See, I could have sworn it was the black form. But I don't know, I'm going to trust the translation on this. This is the official translation. So Ichika is now stronger than DU Asta. Obviously, DU Asta wasn't like going all out. He wasn't definitely trying to like slaughter her. But the fact that he couldn't defend himself and the fact that he literally got knocked out of his form way before the 5 minutes was up. Yeah. Ichika's different. Ichika's different, and she souls a majority of the verse, and she's definitely stronger than her brother. Long story short. And we do get to see, as Asta stands there about to black out, he's like, wait, no. I need these gains. And he declares to Ichika, I'm not done yet. Yeah, then he gets like one-tapped. Like, she literally smacks the back of his head. And it's to the shock of even Ryu and Fumimoto, who are like, huh? And Ichika literally says, hey, don't talk smack unless you can back it up, you idiot. And I can respect the hustle. Usually in most shonen context, when the main character says something like that, they'll unlock a crazy new power up and then proceed to outshine their teacher in some crazy new inventive way. Yeah, no, Ichika just taps him. Taps Brody and he's out. So it does make sense. And we do see that he straight up calls her an ogre and is like, yo, why'd you do that? That went too far. And Ichigo's like, hey, to be fair, it was real combat, so I feel like I did enough. And besides, he was stupid. And we see, now apparently, Ichika did end up using the full force without blacking out. And Ichika does have to put some respect on his name. So, apparently, she does see some value in Asta. However, I know this is a relatively short review, mainly because this chapter has a lot of action. There's not necessarily much story to it. It is just like, this is mainly a scaling chapter, which is crazy to think that DU scales beneath Ichika, who I still think is suppressed. I don't know. She drew her blade once. So I really don't think she's going all out here, which is crazy to think about. However, I think the chapter is still pretty solid. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that notification bells to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also I do a Patreon down below. You can support for as low as $1 a month. Get these exclusive videos, early content, and more. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dag on the Pencil, writing off.